My friends and I have always loved those late-night get-togethers, sharing ghost stories, trying to scare each other. But that night, it was different. We decided to play the game Bloody Mary. The legend says that if you stand in front of a mirror in a dark room at midnight and say her name 3 times, she'll appear. We were laughing, joking around, but deep down, I was feeling this growing unease. When the clock struck midnight, we lit some candles and headed to the bathroom. I stood in front of the mirror, my friends right behind me. I took a deep breath and said, "Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary." At first, nothing. We all laughed it off, but then the candles started flickering. And in the mirror, a woman's figure appeared. Her face was twisted, her eyes bleeding red. We screamed and ran out. Since that night, I've been haunted by nightmares. I see her in every reflection, hear whispers calling my name. My friends say I've changed, I'm quieter now, nervous all the time. I tried getting rid of every mirror in the house, but I still see her reflection. In windows, screens, everywhere. And I can feel her getting closer. Tonight I saw her again. She was smiling, and I know she's coming for me. I tried to laugh it off that night. We all did, just some dumb game, right? But something changed after we left Emma's house. When I got home, the hallway mirror was fogged over, even though the apartment was warm. I wiped it clean, and for a split second I saw her. A woman in the mirror behind me, pale, eyes bleeding, lips sewn shut. I spun around, nothing. I didn't sleep that night. Over the next few days, weird things started happening. The lights in the bathroom flickered whenever I looked into the mirror. I'd hear faint whispers, too quiet to understand, but close enough to feel on my neck. Then the scratches started, 3 parallel marks on my shoulder one morning. I lived alone, no pets, no explanation, they burned like fire. I messaged Emma and the others. Only Sarah replied. She was scared too. "Something's wrong," she wrote. I saw her again in my dreams. She stood over my bed. The next morning, Sarah didn't show up to school. Emma said she hadn't heard from her since the night of the ritual. I decided to visit Sarah's house. Her parents said she locked herself in her room and refused to speak. Her mom whispered to me, "She keeps covering all the mirrors, says something's watching her." That night I did the same. I covered every mirror in my apartment, but it didn't stop her. The whispers turned into screams. Bloody handprints appeared on the bathroom mirror, even when it was covered. I threw it out. Didn't matter. One night I woke up not to a noise, but silence. Heavy silence. The kind that crushes your chest. I looked around, and in the far corner of the room, just beyond the moonlight, I saw her. Bloody Mary, standing still, head tilted, hands twitching. I couldn't move. She opened her mouth, but no sound came out. Her eyes locked with mine. I blacked out. When I woke up, I was lying on the bathroom floor. Carved into the mirror above me was a single word: remember. I didn't leave my apartment for 2 days after that. I kept every mirror covered. But even then, I could feel her watching from the corners, waiting for my guard to drop. My phone would glitch randomly, the front-facing camera turning on by itself. Once it captured a still image while I slept. She was in the background, in the mirror, closer than ever. Then Emma called me. She was crying. "Alex, something's wrong with Josh." Josh was one of the friends with us that night. I hadn't spoken to him since. "He won't come out of his room," Emma said. "He keeps whispering her name over and over." We went to check on him together. His apartment was a wreck, shattered glass, overturned furniture, blood on the wall. We found him curled in a corner, rocking back and forth, muttering. "She's behind the glass. She never left." His eyes were bloodshot and he smelled like he hadn't slept in days. We called for help, but by the time the paramedics arrived, Josh had collapsed, eyes rolled back, skin pale as chalk. They said he'd suffered a seizure. Emma and I knew better. We were being hunted. That night I dreamed of a mirror, huge, endless. I stood alone. My reflection was smiling even though I wasn't. Then it cracked. My reflection bled from its eyes. Behind the cracked glass stood Bloody Mary. She reached out. I woke up screaming, the taste of blood in my mouth. I ran to the bathroom. On the steamed mirror, someone had written, "One by one." I backed away. My phone buzzed. A message from Emma. I think she wants us all." I tried to respond, but the screen cracked in my hand. After Josh was hospitalized, the group started to fall apart. Chris left town the next day without saying goodbye. Sarah stopped answering her phone. Emma and I were the only ones still talking, both clinging to each other through the growing fear. It felt like something was closing in on us, like we were all marked, and Bloody Mary was just waiting for her moment. I stayed with her that night just so we wouldn't be alone. We didn't speak much, just sat in silence, waiting for something to happen, and it did. At exactly 3:33 a.m., the apartment went ice cold. The lights flickered and then died completely. We sat frozen in the dark. Then from the hallway a sound, scrape, scrape, scrape. It grew louder, closer. Emma grabbed my hand. "Don't look," I whispered, but we both did. At the end of the hallway, barely lit by moonlight through the window, stood a figure, hair hanging over her face, skin pale and slick, long, cracked fingernails scraping the wall. She raised a hand, and then the mirror in Emma's room shattered. Emma screamed, we ran. No shoes, no jackets, just pure panic. Outside, the air felt wrong, still, dead. Streetlights flickered above us. Emma sobbed as we ran to my car. My hands trembled on the steering wheel, struggling to start the engine. When it finally roared to life, I looked in the rearview mirror. She was sitting in the back seat. I turned, but nothing was there. Emma saw my face. "Don't look in the mirror," she whispered. Too late. My vision blurred. My ears rang. Blood trickled from my nose. I swerved off the road, barely stopping before we hit a pole. We were alive, but something followed us home, and it wouldn't let go. We didn't sleep that night. We couldn't. Emma sat curled on the couch, blanket around her, eyes darting to every corner of the room like something might crawl out of the shadows. And maybe it could. When dawn broke, I went to the bathroom. The mirror above the sink had fogged over, even though no one had showered. Then I saw it. Scratched into the condensation were 3 words, "One of you." I wiped it away with a shaking hand, but the marks remained as if carved into the glass itself. I ran back to Emma, trying to downplay it, but she already knew. Her arms were covered in fresh scratches, deep, red, angry. "I didn't do this," she whispered. I swear I believed her. The scratches formed letters MR. That night we stayed in the same room, all the lights on. I taped every mirror, every reflective surface, even turned off my phone screen. It didn't help. At 3:33 a.m., the lights went out again, perfectly on cue. From the hallway we heard her, the humming, that same melody, childlike, mocking. Then the whisper right behind us, "Do you remember me now?" I turned, nothing. Emma was gone. I screamed her name over and over, but no reply. The apartment was silent, empty, like she had never been there at all. I found her hours later, curled in the bathtub, eyes open, lips moving, but no sound coming out. Her fingernails were worn down, like she tried to claw her way through porcelain. On the bathroom mirror beneath the duct tape was a bloody message. "You looked." Emma didn't speak for 3 days. She just stared, eyes hollow, lips twitching like she was mouthing silent prayers. I stayed by her side, feeding her, cleaning her wounds, whispering that we'd make it through this. But deep down, I wasn't sure. I began researching ancient texts, folklore, anything that could tell me more about her, about Mary. I found a reference to a ritual of banishment, something dangerous, something no one dared attempt. It required one thing above all else. You had to say her name, out loud, 13 times, not in front of a mirror but in complete darkness, and you had to mean it. I waited for nightfall. I closed every curtain, turned off every light, powered down every screen. I made a circle of salt and sat inside it with only a candle. Emma watched from the hallway, her face pale, trembling. I held the candle and began. "Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary," my voice cracked by the 7th repetition. The room began to shift. The air changed, heavy, wet, cold. By the 9th time, the flame flickered violently. I saw movement in the dark just beyond the edge of the salt. By the 11th, I heard footsteps, bare feet, on wet tile. 12, my breath caught in my throat. Something stood behind me. I could feel her breath on my neck. 13, Bloody Mary. The candle blew out. Silence. Then screaming from every direction, from inside my head. The room exploded into chaos, wind tearing through like a hurricane, mirrors cracking in unseen corners. My body lifted, weightless as if pulled from inside myself. And then stillness. When I opened my eyes, it was morning. Emma was asleep beside me, curled up like a child. The apartment was quiet, every mirror in the house shattered, and carved into the wall above my bed in deep red letters, "Never again."